So today I've come with a new topic. The topic name is addiction. So you may think for sure the moment it is addiction, she's gonna talk about alcohol, smoking, or drug addiction. So let me clear in the initial slide itself. I'm not going to talk about that. But what am I going to talk about? What is this addiction? So, in what way will these addictions impact our life? It can be in any way. So, let us see today. So, anything it can be, any habit of yours or any activity of yours, any pattern of yours, any lifestyle of yours, which will trouble you when you are not doing it, whose absence will make you go crazy, without which you can't imagine yourself, or without whose absence will make you go panic, low, depressed, irritated. Such thing comes under the term addiction. So anything which will literally deteriorate your health, or anything which will impact your health in a bad way, which will feel you very angry sometimes or feel you depressed sometimes, any such things comes under the term addiction. So this addiction is again at different levels, and it affects different levels of our well-being. What is health called? Is health just an absence of disease? So will you consider a person healthy if he doesn't have any disease? No. So just an absence of disease is not health. But well-being at our physical, emotional, mental, social, and spiritual level is considered to be whole health. So whenever this addiction impacts or shows negative impact on any of these level, we are not considered to be healthy at whole, healthy as a whole. So let us see what are all those different addictions which is showing bad impact on our health at physical level. So the reason behind keeping the first slide is coffee, because me being a naturopathy doctor, we usually don't serve coffee or tea in any of our naturopathy clinics or hospitals. The moment patient enters our hospital, they will be in search of this coffee, and if they don't take it, they will end up with headache, nervousness, giddiness, tremors, angry. Every feeling, every possible negative feeling will affect them. And what might be the reason? I'm not against any of these things, but I'm against if you are too much addicted to them or too much habituated to them in such a way their absence will make you go crazy. Such a thing is always bad for our health, will definitely show negative impact on our mind, soul, body on one or the other day, if not today, at least some other day. So anything in limited, it is always fine, but also when it is not available, we should be able to be remain happy and calm. We shouldn't go out of our control. Such one thing is coffee intake. I see people, they will, the moment they get up early in the morning, if they don't drink coffee, they cannot even pass their stools. They will be so much addicted to it. They must drink coffee, only then they can pass their stools. Or sometimes whenever they have headache, or whenever they want to keep themselves alert, they would like to drink coffee. Why wouldn't we like to give some rest to our body? Why do we have to keep ourselves alert even in the night times by drinking coffee? So the use of caffeine, there is caffeine called drug which is present in coffee, which keeps us awake and alert always. This drug affects our human brain and will give us the feeling of alert. The moment you drink coffee, you feel energetic. Imagine one day you don't have that coffee, even on that day you should be energetic. If you are not energetic, that means you are addicted to coffee. So such a level of addiction, just ask for yourself, is it really required? Is it really necessary for me? So soon after we drink this caffeine, what happens? It gets absorbed through our small intestine, and it will get dissolved in the bloodstream and gives us energy. So I always wonder, why do we have to? It's just after all a food habit. Are we getting addicted to yoga? Are we getting addicted to meditation? So one day out of busy schedule, we usually don't practice meditation. Are you feeling really low, angry, frustrated just because you didn't meditate for one day? Or are you feeling low, depressed, angry, frustrated just because you are not practicing yoga on that day? No, we are not addicted to yoga and meditation, but we are addicted to coffee intake. Just question yourself, why is it happening? Why am I not able to live without coffee? So we end up with headache. We see, they say, ma'am, we need coffee, or else we end up with headache. So how to overcome? So we usually say them, you can drink something hot, you can drink hot water, warm water, or kashayam. Imagine that you are drinking coffee. It's just a placebo effect. After all, our mind wants something which is hot, that's all, nothing else. It doesn't know what it is exactly. So we'll ask them to drink something hot so that they will get the effect of drinking coffee. Why not start drinking fruit juices or coconut water? Because we never see people complaining that if they don't drink coconut water during one time of the day, they feel nervousness or they get tremors. Tremors are, so all such negative symptoms are because you have got addicted to it. Your body has got accustomed that you give every day 4 p.m. coffee. So next day when you don't give coffee at that particular time, you end up with all these symptoms. So coffee is one of our physical level addiction. Next, we have binge eating. We just eat for the sake of eating sometimes. We all believe that body is temple and the one who is residing inside is God. To such a beautiful temple, can we just eat whatever we want, whenever we want, even when we are not hungry? So whatever is not needed for the body is something poisonous, is it not? So whenever you are angry on someone, whenever you couldn't express some feeling on a person, it can be angry or depression or frustration, you just sit in front of television and start eating. Just eat and eat and eat. Such a kind of respect, is it really needed for your body? Is that the way you respect yourself? Is that the way you prioritize yourself? Just think about it once. We will not be hungry actually. What might be the root cause? We should work on it instead of just eating or escaping from the situation. Everyone will have problems. Everyone will have problems in expressing themselves sometimes. But all of the times, is it you end up with eating or punishing yourself instead of expressing? So whenever you get a thought of eating, just question yourself, am I really hungry now? Should I really need food? Just ask for yourself and then you will definitely get answer. No, you are not hungry. Then please don't eat. So whenever we have trouble with some impulse control or managing or expressing our feelings, we eat. Sometimes when we are preparing the food, we eat. So it is all happens because you are not mindful. The moment you are mindful, you will not eat like that. Only when you are mindless, you just eat for the sake of eating. And it has become so bad addiction. We will not be liking to sit idle without having anything on our lap to eat. So whenever you would like to keep yourself engaged in 2 or 3 works, what I would suggest you is when you are watching TV, also play some games, video games or some puzzle games, so that you don't get a thought of eating food. So remember, when you are not hungry, you should not eat. Such a food is actually equivalent to poison to our body. Don't make eating as an addiction. Don't get addicted to food. Eat only when it is required to our body. Laziness, I see inactivity. Most of the times I see people, when I ask them, how are you doing, how is everything fine with you, then they would say, no, it's a very busy life, hectic life, we are just waiting for weekend, we want to chillax during weekends. And I ask them, what about your weekdays? Are you not enjoying your weekdays? When you really do something which will cherish your life, your hobbies, when you work on them every day, you cherish, is it not? You would not like to just relax, lie on the bed lazily. You would not like to take rest simply. When should you take rest? Only when you are tired, is it not? When you are not tired, and still if you want to take rest, or if you are not feeling energetic to do task, what does that mean? Which means you are not showing interest towards the task. which means you don't like to do that thing. But at the same time, when you are just lazy falling around like that, if you get a call, won't you attend it? Won't you talk to the person for half an hour, 1 hour, or chit chat during, with WhatsApp or Facebook? Which means what? You have got your own, you know, separation or discrimination. For few things you would not like to do, but whereas few things you would be definitely energetic to do any time of the day. So which means what? You have to improve your levels of motivation. Instead of waiting for only weekends to relax, every day you should enjoy your work. You should indulge your work in such a way that you don't lose respect in it and you don't lose interest over it. That is one thing. So falling, sleeping whenever you want just like that is a sign of laziness, and which is not correct for ourselves. The one who is lazy can never achieve their goals, can never reach their purpose of life. And we always would like to postpone things. When someone asks us to do, we say tomorrow I will do, day after tomorrow I will do. Or sometimes we would like to just push our work on somebody else. He will be doing, why should I do? So all these things are signs of laziness or signs of lack of interest towards the work we are doing. If your work is not giving you enough energy and interest to do, you have to ask yourself whether what you are doing is good or not, whether what you are doing is correct or not. So how to overcome laziness? Always set your goals. Try to set your goals in a proper manner. Within 1 month you cannot construct, being an engineer, you cannot construct a 10-floored building, is it not? You have to set your goals properly, realistic goals, not unrealistic goals. And never expect yourself to be too much perfect. The moment you would expect yourself to be too much perfect, if here and there something goes wrong, you would not like to accept yourself. You will definitely lose interest doing that, because you didn't get the enough result from it. You didn't get what you have expected. So never think to be too much perfect. We are all imperfect in our own ways. Never think to be too much perfect. And always create a plan of action. In the morning, once you get up, just list it out. What and all would you like to work on? What and all would you like to concentrate on? Once they are done, keep ticking them. That is one way. Maintaining diary and writing the plan of action will keep us active throughout the day. And always use your strengths instead of weaknesses. All of us will have our own strengths, is it not, to work on? Use your strengths to keep yourself active. If you don't like to be an engineer constructing buildings, understand what are your strengths. If it is oration or flute playing or anything, work on those strengths and build your profession on that, build your career on your strength, so that you would like to work on it every given moment of your life, instead of being lazy, being inactive. Most of the times, our parents complain, this girl, this boy is always inactive, always lazy, I don't understand what's happening with them. The root cause of laziness is we are not having too much interest on the task which we want to do, or which we were assigned to do, or which we are supposed to do. Anything, it can happen. So understand what is the root cause for your lack of interest and work on it, instead of being addicted to laziness. Even during this corona pandemic times, spend your time in qualitative things. Don't be lazy, just walk around, waste your time. Time is precious. Work on your strengths, plan your action, and try to be active always. Because if you remain inactive, soon someday, after a few days, if you have to go outside and work, you will not be working, you will not be giving your best, either to your company or to your own business. As a professional, as a personal being, you must always give your best in whatever career you have chosen. So to give our best, we must be interested in what we are doing. So please note your strengths and start working from today, instead of being inactive or lazy all the time. At mental level, what and all things affect us success. Can you even imagine if I say success is one such addiction which we all are addicted to? Yes, like just like how, what happens is, most of the times we think about the outcome of our work and we would like to start our work. So if we think that this work doesn't fetch us money, it doesn't fetch us money, or it doesn't fetch us fame or name, we would not like to do that. That is one thing which I have observed in many people. We always think about the results and then start our work. So if the results are not as expected as our level, we would either go into depression, or we would commit suicide. So it is said by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, Karmanya Vadikaraste Ma Phaleshu Kadachana. We are not supposed to never expect fruits of the works which we do. We should just do our part and depart always. So just like money or drugs, success also, it will not satisfy us always. Sometimes we think and it doesn't happen, so we either go low or we either go hyper. We shout at people, we blame people most of the time, saying because of you I couldn't achieve this, because of her I couldn't achieve that, etc., etc. Either it happens externally hurting people, or internally we hurt ourselves by hurting ourselves in the form of suicide. We all know suicide is the biggest sin which we can commit to ourselves. So we should take care at our mental level to not get addicted to success. That is very much important. At times it's a positive way. If it is positive way, definitely we are going forward in our life. But someday it will definitely turn towards negative side, and it will go toxic, because you will start comparing yourself with others who are already successful in their fields. Each one of us are unique. Each one of us are different. We have to understand there is no person who is like another person. We are all unique in our own professions, in our own hobbies, in our own purposes of lives. So there should not be any comparison between us. That is very much important. The moment you stop comparing, and the moment you start accepting yourself and seeing yourself as unique personality, you would not care if you are successful or not successful, but definitely you will be doing your part and departing from that place. That is very much important. So what happens when, how to overcome this? So you have to surround yourself with positive people instead of those who will humiliate you, or who will discourage you, or who will blame you once you become not successful. So when you are surrounded with positive people, those people with ethics, morals, and those who really understand that success do take some time, they will not be judging you. Surround yourself with positive people, and always understand it's a continuous and positive motion. You have to always do something continuously and positively. Anywhere if you have become either negative or lost hopes, definitely you're not going to achieve your purpose in your life. So definitely it should be continuous, and it should be positive. Slow and steady wins the race, is it not? So never blame yourself for being slow. So slow and steady wins the race. Let us not think too much about the results and worry if that doesn't actually, satisfy our level of expectation. But keep doing the best whatever you can to the society, to the family, at last but not least to yourself. At emotional level, what's happening? So do you see anyone without mobile phone today? So everyone has got mobile phones, laptops, and so many apps, Facebook, Insta, everything. My question is, everything is for our benefit. I don't say no. Technology has improved in such a beautiful way. We all have to feel acknowledged for it. There is no doubt in it. But what if you use it excess? Always just ask, today you are with phone, tomorrow I will keep you inside a four-walled room, you don't have anything there, no mobile, no laptop, will you be able to survive there? If yes, I have no questions. If no, you question to yourself. Yes, a sense of urge to use the phone whenever we are quiet, whenever we are idle, whenever we want to actually take rest. Body needs rest, but we would not like to take rest. We get that urge from inside. We must use mobile phone, and all of a sudden, simply we will just roll. We will open the camera, we will see, then we will simply screen lock, touch the screen, check our contacts, check if I have got any messages. We all know the moment we get a message, we will get beep sound, but still we will be like, oh, what if I have missed some message, so let me check again, cross check again. So that's the way we do. It's a continuous urge to use the phone. So it is not correct. We are all benefited with technology today. That's the reason I'm able to see you all, you are able to see me. It is all fine. We must be grateful for the technology and improvements, but those technology and improvements shouldn't show negative impact on our life. So this is a census research done in USA, and they have found over the years the percentage of hours of time spent on mobile phone during a day. Initially it was only 1 hour in a day. Later on it increased up to 3 to 5 hours in a day, and most of us definitely use more than 3 to 5 hours of mobile phones every day. And when the research was done and they've asked, how do you feel when you have misplaced your phone, just look at the percentage there. 73% of the population who participated in the research were panicked. They were all panicked just because they lost their phones, and 14% were desperate, 7% were sick, and only 6% population were relieved, in fact were happy. So I'll ask you, what if your mobile phone is lost, and how is your reaction out of this four? Ask for yourself. So using phone is not wrong, but if you are addicted to it and if you think that you cannot live without mobile phone, it is something very bad. So, what is all this science behind using mobile phone, or how does it impact on our body? So, there is a hormone called dopamine, which we call it as happy hormone, pleasure hormone, which gets released whenever you are happy, whenever you are feeling wow, whenever you are feeling energetic. The same hormone goes down whenever you are, stressed, or whenever you have lacked enthusiasm, or whenever you are procrastinated. So this, it increases, it decreases based on our feelings, our excitement, everything. So what happens whenever you post something on social media, you get likes, you get comments, you get shares, you will be so hyper, you will be excited, you will be feeling wow. So your dopamine releases very high. After a few days, if you don't get the same response from the people, from the society, the same response which was there in the initial stages, if you don't get that, you may feel low, you may go into depression. So this, dopamine increases, dopamine decreases, all these things, when it goes low, you will feel depressed. The body or the mind has got habituated for that reward, reward, like whenever you get some likes or comments on the Facebook, it releases dopamine highly. This frequent causes, such as brain receptors become very insensitive to dopamine. They cause the body to experience less pleasure than before for the same natural reward. This leads person to increased craving. He will be like, why am I not getting that pleasure? Because he don't get much likes, he don't get much shares, so he don't get that pleasure, dopamine will not be released, but that person will be craving for it, craving for that pleasure, which will show negative impact on the person. It will lead him to lack of motivation, lack of self-respect on himself. Gadget addiction is just like addiction to alcohol or drugs. It gives similar negative consequences on us. Always remember, there is also research says children's cognitive and emotional development is impacted negatively because of internet and gadget addiction. And one more thing, what it is observed now is more virtual interactions, more talks over Facebook, social media. There is no face-to-face interaction with the people around us, is it not? So we lack, few human values, human ethics, like being empathetic or kindness. We may tend to lose such qualities because we are more on these virtual interactions. So this is the burden of using smartphone on our neck. So whenever you use smartphone, this is the way you should keep your neck erect, spine erect. But most of the times we will bend our neck forward and use the mobile phone. So there will be so much load felt on our neck whenever we bend forward and use the mobile phone. Life without gadgets was wow, not for us, but those who are lived very beautiful life in 1980s, 1990s would know better than us. So they would go outside, play well, play outdoor, touch the mud, touch the water. They were all together always, they were all in common places like park or sitting under the tree, just relaxing nature. But we all today are missing all that. At social level, what kind of addiction do we have, and what do you think? What so far, whatever I have observed, I have mentioned here, commenting on others. Yes. So whenever you are asked to give your opinion, most of the times you would be commenting only the bad part about the person. We would not like to appreciate the good about the person. Before you judge or comment, you must understand that the other person will definitely get hurt. And it's okay, everyone is struggling in their own way to reach their purpose in life, to reach their goal. If you can't encourage them also, it's absolutely fine. But when you are trying to judge them or comment on them, you are actually discouraging them, you are pulling them back from reaching their goal. Let us never do that. Most of the times, it is always said, no, whenever you take whiteboard and a black mark is put on it, most of us will look at that black small point and ask, why is that there, instead of appreciating or acknowledging the whole whiteboard. Most of the times, many of us do that. Instead of appreciating the good aspect of a person, we would like to see that one negative bad point about that person, keep on judging about it, keep on commenting about it. How far do you think it is correct? Imagine if the same person does that to you, would you be liking it? Would you be accepting it? So let us, it always, again, I get always this WhatsApp message. People always have some ways to comment. If you talk more, they call you talkative. If you talk less, they call you introvert. And there's so many things. Whatever you do, the society will have some problem. The message says like that. But the society is nothing but us. Is it not? If we can change our thinking pattern, definitely we can, our whole society thinking pattern will change. So from today, let us not get addicted to this aspect, commenting on others. Let us see the best in the person, let us see the good in the person, let us appreciate for what they are instead of commenting for what they are not, or for not what they should be. Let us appreciate for what they are already. Why should we think about what they should be? Let us leave it for themselves, but let us not take that. Let us be not addict to any of these things. It can be using mobile phones, it can be drinking coffee, or it can be commenting on others, anything. It can be on binge eating. Let us respect our body by eating only when we are hungry. Let us respect our body by relaxing whenever it wants some rest, instead of just using mobile phone for the sake of using it. Let us not comment people. Let us give respect to ourselves as well as people around us, because I am you and you are me, is it not? So how will I respect you? Only when I respect myself, by not being addict and by not making my body, mind and soul having negative impact, is it not? Once I start respecting myself, I should be able to start respecting you also, by not commenting on you, just like that. Let us be aware. When can we overcome this addiction? When we are aware. AWARE. When can we actually be aware? When we are mindful. Not mindful. I'm not talking about MINDFULL, but I'm talking about MINDFUL. Let us all have mindful eating, mindful drinking, mindful usage of electronic gadgets, mindful talk, mindful words. Before commenting upon anyone, let us just think, inhale deeply, exhale completely. Let us come back to awareness. Let us think whether this word would hurt them or what, whether this word is actually necessary or what. Then let us have mindful talking. Mindful speech is very much important. So let us be always mindful and come out of all these physical, mental, social, emotional addictions and become a complete healthy human being. Namaste.